Barry White, man, that music, some real good music.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Say love making music. Well, you know, in order to make love, you got to be in a relationship. And I have a guest on the line that seems to know all about relationships. And a lot of people seem to have trouble with relationships. You see divorces here and breaking up here and on TV, celebrities, they last for like 72 days, to get married, 72 hours, and they broken up. But Ty Vaughn is going to tell us how we can. She says she's the relationship expert, so we're going to see. Now, Taisha, you like to be called Ty.
Correct.
Why, how do you get to be the relationship expert?
Well, first of all, I've been married happily for 11 years. I have a wonderful 6-year-old son, and I just really believe in the power of love. I really believe in the power of commitment and being dedicated to your spouse. And I just believe that, you know, so many people are deceived and you know, come up against so many attacks in their marriages, but you have to stand strong and stand firm in what you believe. And so I am not a compromised individual. I love my husband. I love being married, and I love what God has done with our union. So I believe that someone has to take a stance for what's right and not compromise the relationship, you know, with the world and what the world does and what they believe, because I believe that God created this union for a particular purpose, and family is the structure and the foundation of our existence. And so that is not something that should be taken lightly, but should be taken very seriously when you take your vows and when you stand before God and a whole host of people. That should be a very sanctified and sort of a ceremony that is not just for show and just for, you know, cake and ice cream, but it should be for something that is
cake and ice cream.
And, you know.
Cake and ice cream. That's interesting. I think you have the recording playing in the background. Can you turn that down?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, because we could hear you listening to you and me.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah. So, wow, she said a lot. She said a lot in that little piece right there. She said a lot, and she's been married for 11 years, strong years.
Yes.
Has a 6-year-old son. Did you turn it down? Are you there?
I'm here.
Now, the other thing is that, okay, you said that about you, but you can't control him because he's a different person. So how does he, you know, how does he fit into that mix? How does he feel about it?
My husband, well, first of all, he's controlled by God. You know, we both, you know, when you're dating, it's not just about, you know, hooking up and just, you know, well, let's just make the time go by and, you know, let's just kind of hang out and enjoy one another. You know, you really have to get to know each other. You really have to do what they call in the olden days a courtship. You know, you really have to seek each other and find out, you know, all the little nuances and all of the things that that person enjoys or dislikes, you know, because you're building together. So there has to be some sort of, you know, common interest. And, you know, and you're in it to build each other, to encourage one another. But he, you know, really has to be a leader, someone that, you know, is going to lead the home and to lead, you know, into the right direction. And so those are things that you discuss, you know, before you walk down the aisle, not making the decisions as you're walking down the aisle. So, you know, he comes from a very stable, you know, foundation and a very stable background. And so, you know, with what I desire and what he desires, you know, we make a really great fit.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't come from stable backgrounds. So then what happens in a case like that?
You need to actually spend time to get to know one another. You know, there's no sense of jumping into something that you plan on being in for the rest of your life. So if you plan on being married to that person, then enjoy the courtship. Get to know that person. Know where they're coming from. Understand, you know, their upbringing, their family, what they want, what they're doing now, what they want to do in the future. What's the goal? What's the plan? So you have to discuss those things up front. One of the things that my husband did before he met me was he actually sat down with the Lord and wrote down, a list of things that he desired in terms of being married. This was before he even met me. So he had already had a plan. He already had a goal. He already had desires. He already had the things that he wanted, in a wife and in a family, but he wrote those things down before the Lord actually brought them to pass. And so I believe that if a man is seeking, his bride, then he has to have some sort of direction for the family, even before he meets her, so that it's not something you're trying to fit together, but it already works naturally.
Because, in some cases, you see so much love, oh man, they're in love in this relationship, and then they wind up being bitter enemies. Like,
right.
How could that be?
Well, first of all, the bitterness didn't just come, when they walked down the aisle when they got married. There was some things going on in their own relationships with themselves and things in their past, and maybe some bitterness and brokenness from past relationships or things that they were involved in before they met the person that they're with currently. And sometimes when you bring in baggage from the past or from something that was really painful, then you need to work on that before you involve another person in your toxic confusion. You need to make sure that you detox and that you go inside yourself and do like an internal makeover, because I don't believe that you're going to be with someone, have heartache and frustration and struggles, and then turn around and be with somebody else and think it's just all going to go away. Like, you have to deal with that before you go into the next, because it's called a rebound. You have to be able to deal with your past before you can move with your future.
You know what? And most people don't even know that they need to work on themselves. Maybe they know it in a way, but they don't know it. So what you going to work on? You're going to work on something that you don't know that you need to work on? Or if you know that you need to work on it, you don't even know where to start. But let me just say this. The gentleman that called in before you, Jamal, you could have him come in and work on that, right? Get him straight, right? Then we come to you and put the relationship together, and then we come to Alicia to help us make abundance of money and prosperity, and oh, that's wonderful. I got the whole package.
You got the 3-course meal here.
Yeah. And you know what? Roz David loved Alicia. That's my brother. That's the brother who has a show before me. He does a Caribbean, Jamaican show. I'm gonna make sure I say it right. He might come in and get me. But he does a show. He loved Alicia, so it's like perfect. So and Jamal is from Jamaica. Then we got you with the relationship to make the relationship great, because I'm gonna ask you some questions that I know people gonna say, how is she gonna be the relationship expert? And then we got Alicia to help us. And I want to thank Alicia, because I knew that you were going to be good when Alicia recommended you.
I am totally honored, and I'm so humbled by this experience. I really appreciate just the opportunity to be on the show and just share a little bit, of knowledge that I have about, about just being in a happy marriage. It's not even so much as about being with somebody, but to be happy and to be healthy. I think there's a lot of power behind that, and I think people, they get connected and they marry for the wrong reasons. They just don't understand that, this is not, two children, playing and just jumping the broom, but this is a real deal. This is something that's going to affect the rest of your life, and if you have children, their lives. So I believe that, people that decide that they want to be in a relationship, they want to be married, you really need to understand that this is for the rest of your life. This is not a plan B. This is not a plan C. This is one shot, one plan, and let's make it work. Because divorce, it is running rampant. It is out of control. But people are not taking their vows seriously anymore. They're just doing what they want to do for convenience, and then they walk away. But, the old vows say, for better, for worse, and sickness and health, till death do us part. And I believe that. I believe that you work on those things and you communicate. Because if you don't have a great communication between your spouse, then it's doomed. It's going to fail. You have to open up and talk from your heart.
My head is spinning right now, because we just need one more person. We just need the health person. So we got So where we go? We go with the which we go with. We go with the health first. Health is always first.
Yeah, you got to be healthy.
We take care of the health, then we take care of that other side that that inspired you, motivation with Jamal. And then we come back with you with the relationship, and then Alicia, abundance. How did you meet Alicia?
You know what? It was interesting. My husband actually was listening to the Les Brown show a few months ago, and he told me, he says, "Hey, babe, why don't you turn on the Les Brown show? There's someone interesting on there."
He said, "Hey, babe."
Yeah, that's what he calls me.
Because you babe.
Woo, so he was
okay.
like, "Hey, babe, turn on." I said, "The Les Brown show." He goes, "Yeah, turn it on. There's a really great woman on there talking about women entrepreneurs, and I think you might be interested." I said, "Okay." So I turn over to the radio station. So I'm listening to her, talk about internet marketing and women entrepreneurs, and so it was very interesting. So at the end of her interview, she actually left her phone number, and so I said, well, okay, let me jot this down, and so then afterwards, a few days later, I gave her a call, and she responded, and we've sort of been connected ever since. So she's been a great inspiration and a great motivation for me, and I really am appreciative for her and just sort of leading me and guiding me in this direction.
Wow, that is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start it off like this. I mean, we already started. We already. Into it, but
okay.
The relationship with yourself. Let's talk about that. Talk about that.
Okay. So first of all, the individual, male or female, you need to have a sound mind. You need to know what you want. You have to be a person that is a go-getter, ambitious. But you have to internally know, like, okay, this is what I want in life. I really want, as far as education, as far as, making commitments, as far as your faith, whatever that may be, but having, yourself stable and well-rounded. Because if you're going to involve another person in your world, you need to be able to offer them something. You need to be prepared, to welcome another individual into your life. And so no one's life is perfect. We all have ups and downs. We all have ins and outs. We all have a past. We have things that we've gone through and troubles and trials. But at the same token, it's having things intact. Not that you're going to come to this person and you be flawless, but I think that you have things intact and you're welcoming this individual into your life to join you, and say, this is what, my desires are, this is what, what I'm about, this is what I enjoy, and being able to actually be okay being by yourself, but then also be okay with welcoming someone to come into your life that you can grow together and that you can build upon something strong together, because you're in it to support one another. You're in it to encourage one another. You're in it to, to see each other through. And so, it's just something that you just have to decide that this is what's best for me. This is what I want in my life, and be very tenacious and be very strong about it, so that when that person comes in, they're just there to just help you. You're not there to, I need you, but I want to be here. I will to be here with you, and we're going to make it work.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, when you tell me about your parents. Are your parents together still?
No, you know what? Unfortunately, my mom passed away last year. But my parents actually divorced when I was 4.
Okay.
But it's really interesting because they actually had a really wonderful relationship after they divorced, as being friends for my whole entire life. So I've never seen my parents argue or be disrespectful towards one another. They've always been very considerate and always helping each other, and they were just better friends not being married than they were married. But my influences came from the church. I was raised in church basically my whole life. And so a lot of my principled thinking, is biblical, and it also just comes from my environment. And my environment was a Christian environment. And so I've seen a lot of friends. And I think that that's a very principled foundation as well.
Well, when you meet someone, how do you know if that's, how do you find out, What do you have to do? How do you test to find out? Not test, but how do you know this is the one? I've heard people say, "Oh, I knew he was the one. I knew she was the one." How do you know?
You know, I don't think there's any magic, you know, to knowing if this person is the right one or not. I believe that when you come to the table, you know, okay, I can give you my own example in terms of my husband and what, how we knew that we were meant to be together. You know, when we met, we actually both worked together at Federal Express, and we dated for about 2 years. And, you know, we had a lot of likenesses. You know, there's a lot of things that we enjoy together. There's a lot of, we love to just take little short trips, maybe to Santa Barbara or San Francisco or San Diego. We both enjoyed working. We both worked 2 jobs. We both enjoyed school. We both were in college when we met. So we were very strong in terms of, you know, knowing what we wanted, and we loved the Lord. You know, we both were Christians, and so there are certain things that we just, they just fit. They just felt right, and they just fit. And so, you know, he knew the type of wife he wanted. I knew the type of husband that I wanted. And so as we courted each other and we, you know, continued to talk and date, you know, there's a lot of similarities. There were a lot of likenesses, and we just enjoyed each other's company. So it wasn't like, you know, we met each other today and knew the next day we were going to be married, but just over the time, you know, we just knew that this was a really good fit. This was a great decision. And to move forward and to, you know, to spend the rest of our lives together. And so far, it's been really a wonderful journey.
Wait a minute. Are you Jamaican?
No, I'm not.
Is he Jamaican? Because he had 2 jobs, too. Is he Jamaican?
I know, right? No. We were just, you know, very ambitious. And we just, you know, I'm an only child. He's from the South, you know, so we both, you know, being a woman, I enjoyed my own independence. I enjoyed having money. I enjoyed having freedom. But I also enjoyed, you know, working and having my own, you know, savings. And I loved education. I loved going to school, and he did too. And so, you know, we just say, you know, we both seem to be on the right track, on the same track, and we enjoy one another's company. And so, it was just a good thing. And so far so good. 11 years we're enjoying this journey, and we, you know, now have a 6-year-old son that we love so very much. And God has really blessed our union.
You're not spoiling that child, are you?
Of course not.
Oh, okay. Now, because most people think that if you got more than one job, you got to be Jamaican. You know, a lot of people think that. That's why I asked the question.
No, we both, he's from Tennessee and I'm a Californian. Okay. So no, we're definitely not from another country, but we just, you know, a lot of times, you know, people, as far as working, my mother was a hard worker, my dad was a hard worker, so that was just in my genes, you know, working hard and having your own money, having your own independence, being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. The only way you're going to be able to do that is if you have money. So I love working.
I love it.
It's all about what's invested in you. That's what's going to come out.
Yeah. So where is he now? What is he doing right now at this moment?
My husband?
Yeah.
A little bit after 4 o'clock in the morning. He's sleeping.
Oh. Does he know you're doing this interview?
He does. He was very supportive, very encouraging. No, absolutely.
We're going to get that sleep, though.
He's got to get the rest, absolutely, because he works very hard for his family.
Wow. So okay, there are no perfect people in the world. No, everybody's got some rough edges somewhere, somehow, something. When that comes up, how do you deal with that? Because no one's perfect. When that, you know.
Again, communication is the key. You've got to be able to communicate. You have to have an open door. You know, when issues come up, when situations that are a little bit, you know, frustrating and things that are just not right, you have to be able to sit down as 2 adults, and discuss the matters. You know, bring them to the table. Be very open and honest with one another, because you're there to make each other better, not to hide or be deceptive or deceiving, but you want to encourage one another. It's like, look, this is what I'm going through, or this is, you know, an issue that I'm facing right now, whether it's on the job, whether if it's personal, and not necessarily let them build up, but to be able to lay them out and to discuss them and be able to move forward.
So let's say you see two young people, right?
Okay.
And they're courting, they're having the courtship.
Right.
I know that personal development is something that has to be developed. You have to study, you have to practice, you have to learn. How can you study, practice, and learn the principles of being or developing a successful marriage or a successful relationship?
Well, first of all, I mean, if you're young and you're dating, and you need to,
and that, you know what? That could be any age, because there are people that are older and that are not married that can meet someone too. So, but you can hit it from both angles.
Okay, so you can't come into a relationship dysfunctional, because it's just not going to work. You have to know, who you are. You have to be very strong-minded. How do you do that? How do you become strong-minded? And this is the truth of the matter. Your environment, the people that you are around. Are you around healthy relationships? Are you around people that are thriving in terms of marriages and being together? Do you see longevity in relationships?
Right.
So the people that you are around, your family, your friends, your community, that's what's going to shape you in terms of your choices, in terms of relationships. Again, like I told you, my environment was church. I was around, I was raised in church, so I was always around healthy relationships, healthy people that enjoyed being together, not just for the sake of being together, but really had something to say. Marriage is a message. And I believe that when you are happily married, it speaks volumes to other people. And so you have to be able to have some sort of background in terms of what you've seen. A lot of relationships are broken because they've come from generational curses. It's broken from grandparents to great-grandparents to the aunts and the uncles and the nieces and nephews and cousins. Everyone is just kind of in it for a short term, and then they exit. That is not exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And friends.
And friends,
because,
yeah.
Because sometimes the women will get, like, friends. They might not be in a good relationship, so they might be a little jealous. They might see your man be like, man, they secretly wish that they had that kind of relationship. So they might try to sabotage it, or him with the friends. They might be doing things that are not kosher, and if he's friends with them, then that could have a influence on him. So, what about in a case like that?
Again, I believe that first of all, if you're going to either if this is dating or being married, you need to be around other people that are thriving in their relationships. Because if you're with if your environment, like your friendship circles, are single individuals and people that are looking to be where you are, if they're hating on you, you got to go. Like you have to be able to change, your environment. So if you know that your friends, your current friends, are single and they're looking, and yet you are in a relationship that you're happy with and you're excited and you want them to have that same feelings for you and to support you, and they're not doing that, you have to recognize that and say, you know what, I'm really happy right now, and I would love it if you guys could support me, but if you can't, then you need to sort of change your friendships, because even being married, as a married woman, the majority of my friends are married and they're happily married. And so we have to be kind of, you sort of create your own community.
Yo, wow. Hold on a second, Ty.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rick Young. Another segment of What's in Your Hand at WHCR 90.3 FM in New York City, the voice of Harlem. And we are on the campus of City College, an institution of higher learning. And I have on the line Taisha Ty Vaughn, and she's dropping the science. She's dropping the ballistics on successful marriages. She's dropping the ballistics and the statistics. So you walking down the street, Ty.
Yes, sir.
And you and your man's walking down the street. Here comes this female coming the other way, and she's looking good. What happens?
You know what? This is going to be really interesting, and I know this is so unusual. When my husband and I, when we are out and about, like if we're at a festival or, we're at where we live, we have this place called the Garden Grove, and so you can just kind of, walk around. There's restaurants and shops and things. And if we actually see an attractive woman, I probably will be the first one to point her out because I don't have a jealousy bone in me. I really enjoy human beings, and if I see a woman that's attractive, I'll say, "Hey, babe, like she's really pretty." He'll say, "Yeah, she is," But I don't have any fears or qualms with that. Like that just doesn't bother me at all. I'm very secure in my relationship. I'm very secure with my husband, and he's very faithful and committed to his family and to his commitments. And so, when we're together, that never crosses my mind. It doesn't bother me, but I will in a heartbeat pick out someone that's attractive, and because I believe that women are beautiful and men are handsome. I mean, we were attracted to one another, so there's nothing wrong with that. But I believe that if you're secure and if you are, absolutely in a relationship that is thriving and growing, and you guys are together and you're committed to one another and you're sold out to each other, that you're going to see attractive people. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem becomes if you act upon that attraction. And I just, I trust my husband, and I have no reason to not trust him. He's never failed me. He's never given me any doubt, any concerns that, that there's anything weird going on. He's a pretty, straightforward man. He works very hard. He comes home. He, has fun with his family, his son. We do family vacations and we spend time together. But as far as another person, it's just not something that we entertain. We don't have space for nonsense.
Wow. Well, because what usually happens, same situation, same scenario, walking down the street, here comes this, nice-looking young lady.
Uh-huh.
So she's going to watch him, but in a slick way to see how he's going to look. To see, and he's going to try to get a sneaker peek. And, that's usually what happens.
Right.
'Cause she usually watches him to see how he's going to react to that situation.
Right.
Almost like she knows the kind of girls that he's going to look at before when he sees it. Oh, that's one of his types. They would know that.
Okay.
So what do you think about that? You agree with that?
Eyes are eyes. You can look. There's nothing wrong with looking at an individual. I just don't see the sin in that. I really don't. The problem is when there becomes a connection, when there becomes a conversation, then that's when things can turn in a different direction. But I just, looking at someone or checking someone out, there's just nothing wrong with that. It becomes a problem, like I said, when it becomes a hello and how are you?
Okay.
A conversation takes place and then things can go in a different direction. But looking at someone, again, if you're secure with yourself, you're secure with God, you're secure with your spouse. I mean, these things just, it's literally just a glance. It's not even something that you should really hold personal or get frustrated about it, because as a woman, I'm going to see attractive men, and my husband, he'll look at me if we see someone like exercising or a guy running down the street with his shirt off, and I just take a glance and I look, he's like, I see you looking at him, but it's very light. It's very light.
Right,
it's nothing, serious or, there's nothing wrong with looking. It just becomes a problem when there's a conversation.
Now, do you have male friends, or does he have female friends?
No. Mm-mm. Not in terms of being single. You mean like single friends?
Yeah. Like people that he might have grew up with or just know from work, or people you might know from work.
You know what? the answer would be yes. Yes, he does have a few single friends, and I have maybe.
Wow, so yeah, sounds like. And how do you make so you make marriage fun, where you enjoy it? Because I like to have fun, so you make marriage fun.
Absolutely.
You hear how some people talk about their wife or they talk about their husband. It's like, you think like, wow, how, why are they together?
Right.
Because some of the comments that they make about their partner is just like, oh, I gotta go home, and I don't know. It just doesn't sound like they're having fun.
You know what? I think, first of all, in any relationship, marriage or dating, you have to bring the fun to the table. You have to create the environment where you guys are enjoying one another. I just actually did an article, and the title was 7 Sensational Saturdays. And so I believe that you have to create the fun. You have to bring the excitement to the table. And so, making date night, whether if it's once a week or if it's once every 2 weeks, depending on your schedule. And for us, we have a child, so we have to sort of be very considerate that we have a child and we have to get a babysitter. So, but you have to date each other. You have to keep the intimacy in the marriage very much alive. You have to be able to go out and have fun, hold each other's hands, go out to go out to dinner or go to a play or go to a festival or, just a gondola ride, anything that's going to continue the spark and keep the marriage very fresh and very alive, because a lot of times we just get caught up in day-to-day, going to work, going to school, taking care of the kids, and the days and the years roll by. But in order for the marriage to actually be a happy, functioning marriage, you have to spend time together. You have to create that time. You have to date each other. You have to get to know, how each other's doing, how your day is going, how your week is going, what's new, and just, stay on top of things. Stay, interested in your spouse, just like you did when you were dating. Like, never let that go away. Continue to hold on to the passion of just getting to learn more about each other, because, when you're spending the rest of your life together, it's all about learning. It's all about the experience. So never lose that.
Do you coach people as far as being in good relationships?
I believe in just being a testimony to people. I have several friends that I discuss relationship matters with that, they have their ups and downs and they're looking for Mr. and Mrs. Right. And I just believe that, just sharing a good message, because people hear so many negative things about relationships, and they go through so much. But a lot of times, we bring these issues to the relationship. They just don't exist when we meet the person. We bring certain spirits and certain attitudes to the relationship, and it's just, you have to be very open. You have to be very humble. Being in a relationship is sacrifice. You're sacrificing for that other person, and so your concerns become their concerns, and their concerns become your concerns. You're in it to please each other. And so, I have a tendency to speak very highly, and I'm very convinced and very convicted of what I believe in terms of relationships and marriages, and they can work. They can absolutely be successful. So that's my coaching. My coaching is, you want to be married, you want to be in a commitment, then, understand that this is something that you're going to do for the rest of your life, but you have to come to a place where this is not going to be a base for arguing. This is not going to be a base for, competing. You're not competing with one another. You are there to enjoy each other and to build each other. And so people always ask, Ty, how do you guys make it work? I don't understand. Like, I've been married for 6 years or 8 years and divorced, and, there's so much bitterness and anger. And my thing is just, sometimes some people just don't need to be married. They need to continue to date because they like being single. You know, you have to know, what you want, and you have to understand that when you walk into the power of commitment, you're in it forever. And some people, men and women, they just, they want to take the low road and exit when things become a little turbulent. But that's the time that you shine. You don't leave, you shine.
Wow.
Absolutely. Send her my way.
Yeah.
I'll do it for free.
Okay. What's your website?
TheMarriageSeed.com.
TheMarriageSeed.com. When they go to that website, what are they going to see? What are they looking for?
They can actually leave their information, but they're going to see some interesting articles. It's not really a website, it's a blog. So it's a place where I really enjoy writing. So there's different articles on different topics. And I believe that it's encouraging. I believe it's enlightening. And I believe that people are looking for answers. They're looking for support. They're looking for a way that, they're looking for information that's going to help them become better, because I believe that, when you are in a relationship, you really have to be strong and to understand that, this is for the rest of your life. And whatever you invest in, you're going to have a great return.
So let's say a female is in her maybe late 30s, late 40s.
Okay.
Maybe in her 50s, 60s, or even 70s.
Anybody
So,
over 30. Okay.
Yeah, because now, like, do they have any hope? Do they feel like, oh, no, they have hope?
Absolutely.
Because most men, they only want one thing. They're not in it to, you got a lot of, I got to say it, you got a lot of jive men out here, straight up.
Right.
That they're not really serious about. They want to play the field. They want to try to get as much as they can get, and that's just reality.
Then they should do that. They should not be married. They should do exactly what you just said. Don't put a ring on anybody's finger that you do not want to spend the rest of your life with.
Well, they like this one because she's secure. She's like, there's something about her that they really like, so they want to hold on to her, but then they still want to play the field. So that doesn't work.
That's not going to work. I mean, you are mentally saying, I know that this woman right here is safe. She's the woman that could take care of the home.
She got your back.
Family. She's got my back. She's not going anywhere. And then, over here, I've got my double life. And you already are planning that. Like, that's deceptive. It's deceiving. And it's going to hurt somebody. Like, why do that? Why involve someone in your masquerade of confusion and chaos? Just stay single. Just leave, And for a woman, again, women are not dumb. We're pretty intelligent people, and we're pretty smart. And if you know that you're with a guy who's a little shady, you're settling. Like, don't settle. If you know that this person has issues with infidelity, do not settle. Be strong in what it is that you want. And if you want to be in a lifelong committed relationship and you know that this person, has a double life or, is cheating or has issues with being faithful to you, don't settle. And don't put yourself in that position to eventually be divorced, because it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is the big one. Big. This is big.
This is the grand finale.
This is big. This is big.
Okay.
And this breaks up a lot of relationships. Financial.
Okay.
Because they're bringing, you said baggage. Sometimes they're bringing their financial baggage or lack of baggage to the relationship, or she or he. So then what about that? What if she comes in with a whole lot of debt? Then how do you deal with that?
Dave Ramsey is the answer to that. If you walk into a relationship and you have a lot of outstanding bills and debt, I believe being honest, again, communication. everyone's not coming to the table with a clean slate. Some people, like women and men, they have, children, here and there. They have baggage, financial baggage. I believe that having an open door, communicating, that's all a part of the courtship. The courtship is about learning and being open and honest. Now, if you're going to be deceptive and be deceiving and not tell people, the person that you're dating, that you're very, very interested in, about your background in terms of, hey, I've got college debt, I've got loans here, I've got credit card debt, here, this is me, this is who I am, and having an open heart to say, you know what, I'm willing to work on this, we need to get a game plan, so you come together with all of your issues, lay them on the table, and then work on them, work towards eliminating the problems that exist. So we have financial problems. Okay, fine. So do I. Let's get together and come with a game plan so we can get rid of this. So it's not a matter of, I'm coming into it with all these problems, and I don't have put it this way. If you have a problem, there should be a solution. And if two people come together to put their information together and say, hey, this is my issue, these are my issues, I have medical debt, I have credit card problems or whatever, let's get together, let's eliminate this, and let's move forward. But, if you're going to continue to create the debt after you come up with a solution to eliminate it, then you've got a problem. You've got a problem. But if you're coming together to say, look, this is my past, and this is, the problems that I've created in my past, can we work together on resolving this? Yes, because you're being open, you're being honest. And if the other person decides, you know what, this is not something that I'm willing to do, I'm coming in here debt-free, I don't have any issues financially, thank you for being honest, but this is not what I want to do. Give the person the respect to make that decision as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, wow, that's very interesting, and that that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Common sense.
Yeah.
As Brooke Stevens would say, talking dollars and making sense.
Absolutely, because if you know that you've got some financial woes and woes, open up and be honest. If you're going to be with someone for the rest of your life, you've got to tell the truth. If you walk in it hiding and being deceptive, believe me, you will be exposed. You can only hide for so long, but then that's when problems, start to arise because you walked into it deceptively and lying and hiding things. And then when it comes to it hits the fan, now we've got to deal with this. But you should have, you could have shared this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Why keep this a secret? If you have problems, let's talk about it so that we can work on it together and move up the ladder instead of being stuck in a place, for many, many years to come. But if we have a game plan of how to eliminate this, then we can do this. Because, everyone has issues, whether if it's, walk into a relationship with you have 2 children, or if it's financial, if it's addictions, or whatever it may be. As long as you're honest, you can get through it.
Okay, I'm not man bashing, but did you see the movie Angela Bassett, Whitney Houston? What was the name of that movie?
Waiting to Exhale?
Waiting to Exhale. And, Angela Bassett played the role where she helped her husband. She helped him, through school, helped him get to where he was, and he became a financial success.
Yes.
And then it was like, boom, she found out he was, with another woman.
Right.
I think it was a secretary or something like that. And what happens in a case like that? What do you do in a case like that? And I'm not man bashing, but I'm just giving it, a scenario.
Wow. If there's, again, infidelity, a woman or a man that builds up the other individual, supports them through school or supports them through their career, and then that individual leaves or decides that they want to end the marriage and move on with someone else. That's really hard. That's really it's unfair, but it's really, really difficult to know what to do in a situation that in that case. There is no particular answer for that, but I believe that if you do the right thing, because you can't make anyone stay with you. I mean, that's impossible. You cannot force or make anyone stay with you. But I believe the individual who leaves the marriage strictly because they want to be with someone else, and there's no, there's no reason to actually have left your spouse, to leave your spouse, other than, maybe the other person looked better, maybe the other person, had something else that you were interested in. But I think it's wrong, and I believe that, what you sow is what you reap. There's no, because you're not going to be happy bouncing around from, individual to individual. You're unstable. You're unstable, and it's not fair that you would hurt the individual that way.
Mr. Parker, sir, can I get you to sign off on the...
And things that take place that can make a person, hurt. I mean, just very hurt. But there's a healing. There's healing. There's transformation. But it takes time. It takes a lot of time, because that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Right. Well, let's give your website again.
So it's themarriageseed.com, and it's Ty Vaughn. I, again, enjoy speaking on the topic of marriage and relationship, and I believe in it, strongly, and I believe in the power of love and commitment. And hopefully, people will take a look at the blog and jot a comment down. I receive, criticisms, and I receive compliments, and I believe that we're all in it to grow and to challenge each other. But marriage is definitely something of God, and it can work.
So this is a positive show, so we want to finish on a positive note. Give me something positive about being in a great relationship.
Wow, it's very, it's so surreal. It's wonderful. I love my husband. I adore my husband. I believe relationships are, meant to be, fun and enjoyable. I believe that they are meant to encourage the community, encourage family members, friends, to see someone that's healthy and thriving and growing. I believe that, people are inspired by wisdom. They're inspired by knowledge, and they definitely are inspired by a healthy, happy relationship, marriage. And people are looking for it. As long as they have the patience and they have a goal and a plan, they too can enjoy, being with someone and just, making their marriage work, making their relationship work. But it's wonderful. It's a great place to be, and I plan on being married to my husband for the rest of my life.
And do y'all have a song, a mutual song together? That's your song? Music.
You know what? We do. I can't believe it. I can't think of the song right now. It's actually a song by what's his name? Wilson. Oh,
Wilson.
What's his name?
Jackie Wilson?
No.
Charlie Wilson.
Charlie Wilson. Yes, Charlie Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Charlie Wilson. Yes.
I like Charlie Wilson.
And we actually played the song and when we got married, and now I can't think of it.
It's one of his latest songs?
No. It was a song that was 11 years ago, but it was a very popular wedding song.
He was with his brothers, the Gap Band, at one time. It wasn't a Gap Band song. Was it him by himself?
He was by himself. He was by himself, and
okay.
I cannot think of that song right now. And I apologize to your audience.
No. Don't apologize. You know what's going to happen, because we'll have to bring you back.
Okay.
To discuss more relationships, because this is not a conversation. This can't be a one-shot conversation. This is a building. We have to grow.
Absolutely.
And we learn.
Absolutely. This is definitely something that, you never get to the place where you say, aha, I got it.
So
you never get there. You're always progressing.
As my friend Adam Clayton Powell Jr. would say, because the show is called What's in Your Hand.
Absolutely.
But he also said, keep the faith, baby.
Keep the faith.
He said that.
Travis Smiley always says that at the end of his show, too. Keep the faith.
He got that from Adam. And Adam also said, learn, baby, learn. If you want to earn, baby, earn, you got to learn, baby, learn.
Absolutely.
And that's where Alicia comes in.
Absolutely. We're all coaching each other. You know,
Right.
we're all helping each other
Right.
to make each other better. You know, not bitter, but better.
So today I'm going with the Barry White theme. And I want to thank you for being here this morning. You were awesome, and continued success. And I'll have you back definitely to talk about relationships.
I really.
But in the
appreciate
meantime, tonight is a good night for dancing, don't you think?
Absolutely, every night is a good night for dancing.
In the meantime, tonight is a good night for dancing.
Dancing.
Give your website one more time.
Every night. Oh, the website is themarriageseed.com.
Give your website one more time. What's that?
Themarriageseed.com.
Okay. We're going to go out.